Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, we were discussed about iteration statements or looping statements. You know, control statements are mainly divided into decision making statements, iteration statements or looping statements, then jumping statements. Okay, decision making statements and iteration statements we already discussed in the previous classes. Today we can discuss about jumping statements. From this name itself, we can understand that it is a jumping. You know what is jumping? Okay, that means moving from one location to another location. Okay, here also same meaning. Jumping means moving from one location to another location. Okay, simply we can say that jumping statements means transferring of the control from one location to another location. Okay, transferring of control from one location to another location. Okay, when a program is executing, you know, Python programming execution is line by line execution. With the help of these jumping statements, it will unconditionally transfer from one location to another location. Unconditionally transfer from one location to another location with the help of jumping statements. Okay, simply we can say that it is used for skipping some block of statements. Okay, skipping some block of statements. When we execute a program, a Python program, you can give any of jumping statements for skipping some part of some block of statements under this this Python program. Okay, mainly jumping statements are divided into two types. First one is break, another one is continue. Okay, break and continue. You know what is break? Break means stopping that process. Okay, first we can discuss break statement, break jumping statement, which also used for skipping the block of statements. For example, we can explain this break statement with an example. For val in string, if val equal to I, break, then print val, print end. Did you see these codes? For val in string, if val equal to I, break, print val, print end. Okay, for loop we already explained, it is used for iteration. Actually here we given a string. Okay, string means collection of characters or sequence of characters. Okay, here also we given a string. Actually it also collection of characters, string. Okay, it will consider as a string. Okay, then if val equal to I, you know, for loop is used for iteration, to act as a iteration statement. So it will start from here, this yes. Okay, it is not a number. Once again I repeating, it is not a number, it will consider as a string. Okay, because it is mentioned within double quotes. Okay, then if val equal to I, it will start, this iteration will start from yes. When we move, when this iteration starting from yes, this condition will check if val equal to I or not. Here value equal to yes, not I. So it will move toward print value. That means it will print the yes. Okay. Then again it will move to next letter T. Val equal to T or not. yes, sorry, val equal to I or not. Okay, then what is the value of this variable val t? T equal to I or not? T is not equal to I, so again it will print next letter st. Then again it will move to where this condition, if val equal to I or not, r equal to I or not, r is not equal to I, so print val r. Okay, then next letter I, if val equal to I or not, that means I equal to I or not, you know, I equal to I, so break. That means that process will stop. Did you understand what I say? Break when the value of this variable val is I, when the value of the variable val equal to I, that process will stop. That's why we are given the condition like this: if val equal to I, break. Break means stop that process. When the value of variable val equal to I, that process will stop, break. Okay, so we will get the result as str only. Okay, that remaining letters will skip. That means that block of the remaining condition checking will skip. That's why we are giving this condition like this: if val equal to I, break. Okay, then after printing str, it will move to this print statement end. Okay, this is called first jumping statement, break. Unconditionally that process will stop with the help of this condition. After giving this condition, you just use this break statement, okay, for skipping the remaining block of statement. Okay, then next is continue. Continue statements. Okay, jumping statement. Next type of jumping statement is continue. We can explain this continue statement with the help of one example. Okay, it also used for jumping, moving from one location to another location, but one more use is there for continue statement. Okay, we can explain with one example. For val in init, initial, okay, init, then if val equal to I, continue. Then print val, print end. Okay, every for loop will end with colon. If condition also end with colon in the case of Python program. Okay, here. Okay, then for val in init, if val equal to I, continue, print val, then print end. Okay, then if val equal to I, this for loop, its process will, this iteration will start from this I. This I equal to, here one condition is there, I equal to I or not. Here I equal to I. Okay, so next continue. That means that process will continue again. Okay, okay, it will not move to this print part. It will move to this continue. Then again this condition will check. Then next letter is n. N equal to I or not. N is not equal to I, so it will move to here, print value, and the result will be n. Okay, then again next, if val equal to I equal to I, you know I equal to I, then again continue, it will not move to here. Then t equal to I or not, t equal to t is not equal to I, so again it will move to print val and it will print the result t. Then this last statement will execute and we will get the result nt end. Okay, this is continue statement. How this continue statement is different from jump statement? Here, if this condition is satisfied, there is a continue statement. For what? For continuing that same condition checking. Okay, it will not move to this statement. Why? Here print val is there, it will not execute this print val. Actually it is a skipping process. If val equal to I, continue, then it will not move to here, it will skip this one, then again this condition will check. Okay, if val equal to other than I, like n and t, it will move to this print part and we will get the result as nt. Okay, then end. This is called continue statements. This is next type of jumping statement. Okay, these are the two types of jumping statement, break and continue. Okay, break is used for skipping a block of statement and otherwise transferring control from one location to another location. Then continue is used for not only for skipping and it is used for repeating. If that condition is satisfied, it will repeat that same process again and again. Okay, that is called a continue statement. Then next topic is debugging. You know, when we develop a program, there is a chance for many errors. That errors are called bugs. Errors are called bugs. Okay, then correction of that bugs are called debugging. Correction of bugs are called debugging. Mainly errors are divided into compile time errors, compile time error, then running time error, logical error. Okay, compile time error, runtime error, logical error. First we can discuss about compile time error. From that name itself we can understand that this error will occur during the compilation of a program. Okay, this error will occur during the compilation of a program. Okay, compile time errors are mainly divided into syntax error, second one semantic error. What is syntax error? We already discussed the different loops, condition statements and all. Okay, each looping statement or condition statement has its own syntax or its own rules. That violation of that rules or violation of that syntax is called syntax errors. Okay, errors related with its syntax is called syntax errors. For example, if a greater than b, after if condition it will end with a colon. Okay, suppose this colon is missed from a sequence of code. In this if condition, when we use if condition, this colon is missed. Okay, actually that is a syntax error. Did you understand what I say? Okay, our rule, what is our rule? Every if condition, if statement will end with this colon. If that colon is missed, actually that is a error, violation of rule. Okay, so that is called syntax error. Then okay, Next, semantic error. What is semantic error? When we use a meaningless statement in a program, it will occur while we using a meaningless statement in a program. Okay, for example, c equal to a plus b. When we add two numbers, we can use equation like this: c equal to a plus b. C equal to a plus b. Then suppose if we are using a plus b equal to c, this is a meaningless statement. Okay, if you want to add two numbers in a Python program, you can use like for first number a, second number b, then c equal to a plus b. Instead of that, you used this a plus b equal to c. Okay, actually it is a meaningless statement. So such a type of meaningless statement causes these semantic errors. Okay, these are the two types of compile time errors. It will occur during the compilation of a program. Next is runtime errors. What is runtime errors? It will occur during the running of a program. Okay, it will occur during the running of a program. Okay, then for example, if you are using zero divided by 1, its result will be 0. Then 1 divided by 0, its result is infinity. Okay, when we are using these values like 0 divided by 1, we will get the result 0. But when we using 1 divided by 0, its result will be infinity. Okay, okay, these type of errors may occur. Okay, that is called runtime error. These errors will happen or occur during the runtime. So actually what will be when we using this type of equations, what will be its result? Like infinity, sometimes you will not get correct result when we using this type of equation. Okay, so that also a type of error. That's why we are calling runtime error. Okay, this will happen during the runtime of a program or execution of a program. Okay, it will happen during the execution of a program, so it is known as runtime error. Next is logical error. This logical error will happen because of programmer's mistake. Okay, okay, it will happen because of programmer's mistake. Sometimes programmer's logic may be different. Okay, that logic, programmer's logic may change. There is sometimes there is a chance for mistake in that programmer's logic. Such a type of errors are called logical errors. For example, one programmer, he used integer instead of float. Actually it is a mistake of that programmer's logic. Okay, sometimes we will get the result, but it will not be a correct result. We will not get that correct result. Okay, so such a type of errors are called logical errors. Mainly errors are divided into compile time, runtime again divided into syntax, semantic, then finally logical errors. Okay, then how we can solve these type of errors? How we can manage this debugging? Continuous checking, continuous testing of that particular program is the only solution for this correction of errors. Okay, that process is called debugging. Okay, that's all. Today we can wind up our class. Anyway, thank you. Have a nice day.